Hello and welcome. In this video, let's look at how to solve linear inequality with one unknown. When we solve an inequality, we will get an expression that has one of these four inequality symbols. And we solve the inequality the same exact way we solve the equation. We follow the two-step process. The first step is we simplify, following the order of operations, PEMDAS, and then we undo all remaining operations using their inverses, and that would allow us to solve. When we solve, we work our way backwards, starting at the bottom and working up. So there are two new components that will be different for the inequality than for the equation. And the first component is when we multiply or divide both sides of inequality by a negative number, only by negative, we switch the inequality symbol. So here is an illustration to motivate this rule. Let's say we have 8 is greater than 2. That's a true statement because 8 actually is greater than 2. Let's multiply now both sides by negative 1, which we know we can do for the equations. And that makes negative 8 greater than negative 2, which is a false statement. This is no longer true because the bigger negative numbers are actually smaller. So negative 8 is actually less than negative 2. So even though we have performed a correct operation, the result is no longer true. To make it true, we must switch the inequality symbol and make it less than negative 2. And this makes it true. So each time we multiply or divide by negative, nothing happens if we divide or multiply by positive, but by negative, the inequality symbol must switch. That's the first component. And the second component is we write the answer differently. There are two different ways to write the answer for the inequality. The first way is set builder notation. And in set builder notation, we have curly parentheses that shows that we have a set. Inside, we have a letter that we use, either x's or y's or whatever the inequality has. That's a letter. Vertical line means such that. And then there is a rule that describes what x's actually go into our set. That's a set builder notation. Interval notation is the interval that tells us where the answers begin and where the answers end. The interval is placed inside parentheses or the brackets. If the point is included, then we have a bracket, and the point is included if it has an equal sign. If the point is not included, then we have a parenthesis, and the point is not included if we don't have an equal sign, or if we have infinity, because infinity cannot be included. So these are the two ways that we use on the interval. So let's solve one example and write the answer both ways. So here is an example. First thing we do is we simplify. So we begin by doing everything that we can do to this question. Inside the parentheses, there is nothing that we can do. The next thing is multiplication. There is a multiplication between negative 2 and x plus 8. Let's multiply this out. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16, plus 5 less than or equal 13. Now we combine like terms. Negative 2x is all by itself, but negative 16 plus 5 makes negative 11. This is the simplest form of our original inequality. That's the end of the first part. The first part, simplify, is complete. Now we go to the second phase, which is solve by undoing all remaining operations. We start at the bottom and we work our way up. So starting at the bottom, we undo plus and minus first, and to cancel minus 11, we add 11 to both sides, plus 11. That makes negative 2x less than or equal to 24. Now to cancel negative multiplication by negative 2, we must divide both sides by negative 2. And since we're dividing by negative, the inequality symbol will switch to greater or equal to negative 12. And this is the final answer to our inequality. Now let's write it using the set builder notation. In set builder notation, all we need to say is that we have a set that has x's in it, and the rule is exactly this rule. It's an axis such that x is greater or equal to negative 12. Close the curly parentheses, and that's the answer. That's our final answer using set builder notation. In the interval notation, we need to say where the interval begins and where it ends. Well, let's look at this visually. x greater than negative 12 is going to be, here's the number line, somewhere there is a negative 12, greater than is everything to the right. So we must show all of these points using the interval. Where does the answer begin? It begins at negative 12. And because it has equal sign, we begin with bracket. So the negative 12 gets a bracket. Bracket. And then at the end, it goes on to the right forever. So the interval notation is bracket, negative 12, comma, infinity, parentheses. So this is the final answer using the interval notation. This is the final answer using the set builder notation. And that's how to solve one of the inequalities that has just one unknown. If you have any questions on anything, please let me know. If you have some of your own questions that you would like to see discussed, also let me know. Thank you for your time. Look forward to hearing from you.